Though in our imaginations, the only people who could do this are time travelers, Tame Impala and every other normal person in the world who's ever had like any kind of anxiety also can get lost in yesterday. However, when Tame Impala does it, it's a song, and when normal people does it, it's just sad and sometimes very detrimental to like any kind of progress. But that's okay because Lost in Yesterday from Tame Impala is sort of that lesson, that idea of trying to impart that wisdom of, hey, you have to look at this past, you gotta be like, dude, let's throw hands. I'm kidding. Look, you can't throw hands with a memory. The only thing you can do with a memory is accept its existence, and hopefully it's not a memory that is tainted in any way. But if it is tainted in any way, being able to hopefully confront what makes it tainted, and so then it can look all nice and pretty. The thing that I really like about this song too is that they released this after posthumous forgiveness, so that it doesn't feel like Tame Impala is just going like, hey, memories sometimes are really hard to deal with, and like you should like not let those be that hard to deal with. Instead, what happens is that posthumous forgiveness sort of gives it a bigger leg of credibility to stand on, because we basically listen to Kevin Parker of Tame Impala sort of confront his own painful memories and then move on from them in a peaceful manner. And so in that way, he's imploring you, after showing you his own experience and how potentially, I mean, obviously we didn't see him as a person go through it. We only had to listen through like a 6-minute song, so we didn't get the full brunt of his experiences. But what we did get is basically the ability of him to do it, seeing, like hearing that, and then going, hey, maybe I can do that. And sort of what Lost in Yesterday feels like is a push to that light, a push to confront memories. And he gives us sort of 3 options. If a memory was stalling you or sort of dragging you down in any way, you need to eradicate it Terminator style or Mortal Kombat style. Finish it. Which again feels like a simple platitude. If you look at it kind of surface level and you don't listen to the context of the songs, it will feel like he's just like another song being like, just be okay. But he does also talk about the fact that time travel is not possible. A lot of people, like he sort of harps on, hey, I never thought I would be at this point where I'm okay with myself and okay with these things. And most of the time that's true for a lot of people, because what happens is we all want to like just go back in time and fix that one time that we made an egregious mistake, because we think if we fix that one thing, then everything else will be better. And sometimes that really scary obsession with trying to solve a problem that has already had its sort of climax, and you're just like not going to the resolution, can just leave you stuck. So again, eradicate the memory, get it out of there. If it's something that is calling you constantly and you have to face it, and it's something that may potentially have been traumatic, hopefully not to such a detrimental degree that you cannot face it, like you cannot look at it in any form or fashion and it's harming you, I think that goes in the eradicated pile. Something that's just kind of been bothering you and you haven't yet been able to look at, but you're slowly getting there, those are the ones you need to face and be like, look at me, I am the captain now. That's pretty much what Tame Impala says there. And then on one of the other ones, they kind of just go, erase it. You know, if it's not going well for you, just get it on out of there. Erase it. So it's sort of the same as the eradicated one, you know, but they sort of give you those 3 options throughout the really neat little chorus, and what I really love about the song is that it carries you into this sort of tunnel. And I think what also elevates the song is the cover art. It just really feels like, again, that whole idea of time being the core beyond all these songs, and how Kevin has fundamentally changed as a person throughout the release of like these singles and before these singles, and how he's changed. So obviously his music will change with him. Being able to confront that. But again, what I really like is the tunnel sort of feeling. It feels like when we go through the chorus, it sort of tightens up and then it gets lighter as we get towards the end. And what makes it really cool is that it feels as though every time it's like sort of trying to push you, just like, come on, you can do this. You can do this. And I really just love that. It just feels like Kevin Parker's an old dude now, and he's like, hey man, I used to deal with this stuff. Now you're dealing with this stuff. But you're gonna get through it. You're gonna do it. Sometimes I go, dang, if I time traveled. But I remember something important. The problem with time traveling is that you just become an overpowered Mary Sue where you don't learn anything. And most of the time, there's never been an overpowered character in any fictional series or non-fictional series where they didn't have some sort of fundamental flaw that made them relatable. If a character isn't relatable and they're just all-powerful, almighty, and there's no stakes and there's no mistakes for them to learn from, then we don't ever like them because they're not learning anything, and we don't feel like we're able to take anything from them. Not literally steal, but like we just don't have anything relatable because we're imperfect. Watching something perfect is boring because you already know what's going to happen. If you're able to solve every problem with time travel, if you're able to go back in the past and fix every single little mistake, which would also fundamentally change your universe, but change every little mistake, you wouldn't have anything to learn. Unless you literally couldn't grow. You couldn't develop because you already know everything. There's no point in playing a video game when you know you'll win every time. If there's not any ounce of struggle, if there's not any ounce of flaws, then what are you doing? I'm not saying that people should get stuck in their head thinking about the past forever, but being able to confront the past, being able to not let yourself get tunnel vision about the glory days because they can change, which is another thing that Tame Impala mentions in the song. Not getting too attached to, not getting so attached to these things that have existed in a certain time frame that you don't have success in the present, that you stifle yourself actively from having success in the present because of past things. It's always important to give yourself enough room to be able to move on from that so that then you can move forward into the present with good things and good intentions and have a happy heart. You deserve a happy heart. Eat Cheerios. I think you're supposed to eat those for heart health. Overall, as a song with the funky guitar, funky slick guitar, and the sort of jittery synths, I just find myself grooving to it, and I've always enjoyed the fact that Tame Impala is able to take serious things and just slap them into like really just a catchy song, and you're just sitting there and you're just like, lost yesterday, no way, I couldn't do it. Thank you, Tame Impala. Thank you for helping us not get lost in yesterday. I love it. I love it. It's great. It's a fun song. And I am super excited for the album, unless they're going to pull a Gorillaz on me and just keep just sharing songs from the album until the whole thing's out, which at this point they might do. Am I opposed to that? No. Do I have opposable thumbs? Yes. Okay, I might not be lost in yesterday, but I'm definitely lost in my head. Wow. Okay, maybe time travel is a good thing, and we should definitely invent it so I can. Well, this guy says, although we don't have a compass or a GPS for the future, it's important to embrace what could come. Like literally, you could hug the mailman. But make sure it's consensual. Ask your mailman if you can hug them, and then hug them because they gave you mail. Someone sent that to you. Hug them. Appreciate them. Don't let the dogs out. Woo, woo, woo. But find out who did.